Hi, Kathleen. Welcome to the Outspoken Cyclist. Thanks for joining me this afternoon.
Well, hello, Diane. It's my pleasure to be here.
Well, 10 years ago, you and I sat down to talk about a brand new event for Northeast Ohio, the Pan Hope Ride. That's what it has become. So tell us how you got involved with this and how you first came to me to talk about it. 10 years, that's a long time.
It sure has. I actually have been a long-time volunteer for the American Cancer Society and was heavily involved with a program called Hope Lodge. And I was frustrated that people didn't understand or know what our Hope Lodges were or are. And they are a home away from home for adult cancer patients and their loved ones who need to seek treatment far from home. So it's a no-cost place to stay. Well, one night I was ruminating over what we can do because we had two Hope Lodges that were in Ohio, one in Cleveland and one in Cincinnati. And it hit me one night in the middle of the night that we needed to do something big.
You mean it wasn't in the shower?
No.
Oh, okay.
I was laying there thinking at night, and sure enough, I came up with this idea of a bike ride from one lodge to the other. The American Cancer Society did not have big bike rides back then. They had some mom and pop things that might be like one afternoon. So we came up with this idea, and I spoke to the leadership of the American Cancer Society, and we made it happen. And we spoke to you because we knew you had some background on that, and you were very kind to give us some advice very early on.
Yes, that you actually took that advice.
We did.
You did.
And I
was
thank
very
you for
excited.
it.
No, thank you. So I have a question about the Hope Lodges. When you think about them, they are not affiliated with any specific hospital system. Is that correct?
No, they typically are in towns that have major cancer centers that are NCI designated major cancer centers. So we have 32 across the country. We're very fortunate here in Ohio that we have two in Cleveland and Cincinnati, and we would like to have one in Columbus one day. But the Pan Ohio Hope Ride really came about because of these Hope Lodges, but we really expanded the fundraising to include all of our patient service programs. The American Cancer Society does a lot for research. We are the largest private nonprofit funder of research in the country. And since our research program began in 1946, we have actually raised $4.3 billion and devoted it to research. But we need to do more than that. We need to help patients get to the fruit of that research. We need to support people with information, help them get to treatments. So we have a lot of patient service programs that are absolutely crucial to the fight against cancer.
Okay. I want to talk a little bit more about the actual Hope Lodges in Ohio. So the one in Cleveland, which is close to, but not in, the University Hospital system.
Yes.
How does that work? How many people can stay there and for how long?
We have 31 bedrooms, and typically it's the loved one and the patient. Sometimes the patient's in the hospital and the loved one is at the Hope Lodge. And our average stay is about 4 to 6 weeks.
Wow, that's a long time.
And we have had people there for months at a time, and it depends on what their treatment regimen is, what the protocol is. We serve every hospital in Cleveland. Any cancer patient that needs a place to stay, we try to house them at our Hope Lodge. And the Pan Ohio Hope Ride really was designed to help raise awareness for that.
How about the one in Cincinnati? Do you remember how many beds are there? I'll bet you do.
The one in Cincinnati, if I remember right, has about 36 bedrooms, and it's another gorgeous facility, and it does a lot to help people from all over. I mean, it's the tri-state area down there. Right. So we really are beyond geographic boundaries. We try to help cancer patients. In fact, one of our first users of our newer Hope Lodge in Boston that opened in 2008 was actually a woman from Cincinnati.
Go figure.
You never know.
Right. Okay, let's talk about this year's ride. Since our first meeting, it's become a major fundraiser, the Pan Ohio Hope Ride. You're raising lots of money. How does the ride work? Well, I should know. I helped.
Well, I'll tell you what, the ride is a 4-day ride, and that's the piece that's been growing. Ever since the first year, we had about 50 people. The very next year, we doubled our numbers. And the ride has been growing. Right now, we've got about 450 people registered. 98% of those people are registered for all 4 days. That's the piece they want. So we typically started in Cleveland, but this year we're reversing the route. We're starting in Cincinnati and heading north, and we stay overnight on college campuses. We have support all along the way. Every 18 to 20 miles, there's a water stop with full nutrition. We have amazing volunteers that travel with us in SAG vehicles. We have ham radio operators that volunteer their time. We've got just an amazing volunteer force all up and down the state, along with our staff all up and down the state. For every rider, it takes about 3 volunteers to make sure that this happens.
Yes, I know how that works. So that means if you need 3, you have to recruit 6.
Exactly.
Yes,
exactly.
Because
so
3 won't show.
We need volunteers.
Understand. Yes, and you don't need riders, which is interesting. So when we look at some of these big rides, like the Pan Mass Challenge, even Velosano, they're always looking for more riders. Your 4-day ride is basically sold out.
Well, our 4-day piece of it is
Right,
sold out.
that's what I mean.
We do have a waiting list for the 4-day riders, but that's because we know our sweet spot and what we can handle comfortably. For 4 days, you're basically herding cats for 4 days. So it's important that we can take care of everyone. And people tell us that it is the best supported ride they've ever been on. We do feed them 3 meals a day. We stay overnight on these wonderful college campuses across the state, and they see these beautiful college towns. We actually have a police escort out of the start in Cincinnati to get us through Cincinnati and the traffic. We head north to the College of Wittenberg in Springfield for night 2. Then we also head east to Ohio Wesleyan. Ironically, we're back at Ohio Wesleyan, which is the school we used in our first year.
That's right, you did.
And we are going to be at Ohio Wesleyan. Then on day 3, we head to the College of Worcester. And at that night, on night 3, on Saturday night, is a very special night. We have our recognition dinner. And it's a night where we talk about why we're all riding, what it means to be battling cancer, why people are doing what they're doing, sitting on a bike seat for 4 days, for 328 miles. And it's a very meaningful night. We recognize a lot of people that have done exceptional fundraising. We tell some stories about why we're riding, and I can tell you it's a night where we all end up in tears. There's a lot of laughter, a lot of hugs, and a lot of tears. Day 4, we take off and we head for Cleveland. And we get everybody into Cleveland. Well, they'll be in Cleveland. We're going to finish at Edgewater Park because we're really on the heels of the RNC this year. And
so you are.
We're told they'll be out of town, we hope. And so we're going to finish at Edgewater Park. But we bus everyone back from the start point of the cities they began in. And in fact, on Wednesday before the ride, on July 20th, we have pickup points at various cities. There will be buses leaving from Cleveland. We lovingly wrap everyone's bike and put it on a Penske truck that Penske has very generously donated a number of trucks to us. We get them all down to the start point. We have a kickoff dinner on Wednesday, July 20th at Xavier. And then July 21st, we send them on their way. And it's magic what happens during the ride. There's a lot of compelling stories, a lot of cancer survivors. There's people that are riding in honor of someone, in memory of someone. As the ride unfolds, the stories come out, and it becomes a very meaningful experience. We strive to make this event safe, fun, and meaningful. We have an ambulance crew that we employ that travels with us. We have bike mechanics that travel with us. We really have a tremendous support team. And I would like to tell you that one of our lead staff on this, who's been our ride director for a number of years, is a young man who actually is a John Carroll graduate.
All right. Well, they'll be happy here.
There's a strong John Carroll
Who is that,
presence.
Alex?
No, Paul Purdy.
Oh, I don't know him.
Okay.
I don't know him.
Paul Purdy was
Nice.
our ride director for
Nice.
a number of years. He's also still involved in the project, but we also brought in a young man, one of our staff people in Cincinnati, Scott Derbyshire. So we have a tremendous staff across the state, and the volunteers all make it happen.
So how much money has, in the 10 years, the ride raised?
We have raised over $5 million to support Hope Lodges and other patient support programs, and we're on our way to 6. We should top 6 this year.
So what's really interesting is that it's a small number of riders, and they seem to be raising a big number of dollars.
They are. In fact, last year we had our biggest average raise per rider was nearly $2,500, which is pretty phenomenal because we're not requiring that.
Right.
We ask them to do that, and it's amazing to see how well people have done as they get it and they understand what it takes to fundraise.
So what's interesting too about this ride, as I listen to what you're saying, is it is very doable for a lot of people, not just distance wise or time wise, but also fundraising wise. And some of the big rides put daunting numbers in front of you, and maybe that doesn't always work.
Well, we decided a long time ago we were going to have incentives, but we weren't going to take people's credit cards, because we friend raise as well as fundraise. But I'll tell you, our riders do get it, and they understand how important the cause is. Everyone has a story. It's very rare that you would meet someone that's doing this ride just for the adventure of it. There's a story behind it, and that's what makes it so powerful and meaningful. And we have an incredible return rate. It's amazing. It's about a 60 to 70% return rate, which is exceptional.
Yeah, I know a lot of your riders, as you can well imagine.
I bet you do.
So one of the other things that I noticed is you do not have one major corporate sponsor.
No, we do not. This is very grassroots. It's not to say I wouldn't love one, but we do not have a major sponsor. We don't have a big $1 million donor that's funding this. This is something that we are all just working together through a lot of smaller sponsors and a lot of tremendous, wonderful donors who help support the ride that make it happen.
So the last thing I would want to know about is, do you still have openings for riders to join the ride, even if it's not the 4-day?
Yes, we do.
How do you do that?
We have a 4-day waiting list, but you can join for 2 days or 1 day. Go to the website, which is panohiohoperide.org, and you'll see the details right on the website. You sign up. We'll get back to you. We'll give you the information. And as I said, we take care of people every step of the way. And we certainly welcome 1- and 2-day riders, but the 4-day piece right now is sold out, but things can happen where people have to drop out. You do have to train for this.
Yes, you do.
A lot of miles, and it's a lot of time on a bike seat.
It's hilly in Southern Ohio, folks.
It is. And
it is.
We actually work very well on having a little bit of everything for everybody, because we have city roads, we have country byways, we have beautiful scenic routes, we have trails. We often will do a challenge route for the people that don't want to be on a trail. We'll give them another route, but they're intersecting water stops so they can get back on route. And we serve them lunch. There's breakfast, lunch, and dinner every day, and there's a lot of fun on the college campuses every night.
Well, I really appreciate you coming into the studio. We don't always get guests in the studio. Tim, you have any questions? No. He said he's shaking his head no. What?
I think it's really neat that you see the same people that come back time and time again. And I know a lot of the rowing community is involved with this ride, and the folks over at MCPC also. And my favorite part is that Mike Treblecock, Mr. MCP, puts his money where his mouth is and his bike where his mouth is, because he does the ride as well.
Yes, MCPC has been one of our powerhouse teams, and they have been on a real fundraising tear. They've been extremely supportive. But people do get it. They understand what this is about, and that it takes dollars to make a difference in the fight against cancer. And we are all in this together. And that's what differentiates us from the other bike rides, is it's not for one hospital.
Right.
It's for people everywhere. It crosses all boundaries.
How close do you think the scientific community is to making the breakthrough, if I can use that?
Well, I don't think there is the breakthrough. I think there's breakthroughs. There is actually a lot of puzzles that are being unraveled, and people are figuring these things out. But it's all about the mechanisms involved, and we're getting more into that aspect of it. So it's really exciting to see. And I know for the American Cancer Society, we're all about good science. And we have funded, early in their research careers, 47 Nobel Prize winners.
Wow.
And that tells you we know what we're doing when it comes to research.
Sound like it. So, Kathleen, tell us the dates of the ride, and once again, the website, please.
It's July 21st to the 24th. And if you are leaving from Cincinnati for the 4-day, that means you're going to get on a bus or drive down to Cincinnati on the 20th. But we get everybody back on Sunday the 24th. Our buses roll at 5 o'clock. We have a great celebration finish. We'll be at Edgewater Park. Come on down. We need volunteers. Come on down and celebrate with us. But we'll have everybody back from whence they came Sunday night. And again, it's July 21st to the 24th. And please join us. The website is panohiohoperide.org.
Perfect. Well, thanks so much for coming down to John Carroll to talk with us today. And good luck with the ride this year. We could wish you nothing but great weather.
Thank you, Diane.
All righty. We hope you have a wonderful holiday, Memorial Day weekend. Please be safe. And if you have a chance, go for a ride. Bye-bye.